Hey guys, how's it going? My name is the Crypto Analyst and welcome back to the Crypto Analyst live stream. Today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, proof of keys, doing some technical analysis and jumping into a whole lot of topics, and actually even have an interactive section where hopefully we get a little bit of the audience and you guys through the Discord into some voice chat, and we're able to discuss some pretty cool things about really what's happening in crypto. So not only am I going to be talking, hopefully we're going to be able to have an interactive segment where you guys and all of us are actually going to be able to break down what's happening in crypto. So we're getting this from really more than one view instead of just getting mine. Now this is something I want to kind of start doing and experimenting in a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure everything's working properly before we get any deeper in here. So again guys, if you guys are in the Discord, feel free to join these voice channels. We're going to be chatting about this. We're going to be discussing this and breaking this down of really what's happening. Now of course guys, the bullish pennant has played out. This is one of the first things that has happened in the day, has happened early in a while. Of course, we've been bouncing around in this pennant, and the last thing that we posted in Patreon was actually explaining why this was a bullish pennant. And well, here's the breakout, and it actually looks like it's starting to paint a little bit of a bull flag over here. Now this is the 1 hour. I'd like to see something like this happen on a 4 hour, and we'll break down exactly why this is a bull flag versus like a bear flag or something negative. But we're going to actually be talking about this as well, because there is a number of ways that this can play out. But from the looks of it, at least right now on the hourly, it is looking like it's starting to paint a bull flag, and we'll see if we get confirmation of that. But again, I want to break down a lot of things over here, especially things like Litecoin and Ethereum, some of the big names and what's happening right now, because there's a lot to talk about between both of those coins. If you guys don't know, like Litecoin and Tron and a couple others are up an absolute ton, at least as of the last 2 days. And then you have other ones like Ethereum, which are kind of looking at, really both Ethereum and XRP, which are actually both looking for breakouts, and they're both looking pretty hot at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure everything's working over here. And actually, another thing I'm going to have to do is actually send out the link, because one of the real things that I always forget to do over here is send out the notification that I am live. Because it's easy to go live, but a lot of people, but it's another thing to get the people in here. So welcome everybody. It's great to have you guys. It's my pleasure to be back. What's up, Randy? Handy Rams, great to have you. Happy bull run, everyone. Oh yeah, I mean, it's looking great so far, right? You're having this, and we'll go ahead and zoom this in here. So I'll leave this up and I'll leave this be while we're getting everything ready. And while everyone's getting in here, I'm going to go ahead and send out the notification saying that we are starting. And then we'll be ready to get the show on the road. Because, again, I think this is going to be a pretty cool one. It's not going to be nearly as long of a live stream as we did last time, but I think it'll be equally as good. This is really going to be a little bit of a shorter one, but we're going to be kind of experimenting between TA and a couple of other cool things. So give me just 1 second, guys. We're going to go ahead and make sure that this notification does go out, and then we'll be able to move on from here. So post that in the Discord. And again, guys, something I do want to emphasize that that I'm trying to push and experiment with today is that I'm trying to get your guys' feedback. So if you guys are in the Discord and you guys do want to join in on the live stream, go ahead to the Discord, go into general chat. I'm in there currently. I'm muted, but there's going to be a segment of the live stream where hopefully we are able to get a number of us, a number of the people in the Discord, a number of the people and subscribers, and you guys being the audience, to actually come in here, and we're able to discuss the current state of cryptocurrency, events like what's happening in Bitcoin right now, what's happening with altcoins, what's happening with maybe the Bitcoin Cash scandal or the proof of keys events. There's a lot of cool things that I want to be able to break down with you guys and to get second opinions about, because as great it is as it is, learning from myself and learning from what I have to offer with my past experience and history with cryptocurrency, it's always great to hear it from a couple of different people, because that's how you always see things different ways. So let's go ahead and get right on into this. I think we've given it enough time for this to warm up. Oh, okay, so what's up, Slice Keeper? Hassan, great to have you in here. Sean, great to have you in here. I see Randy and Handy as well. Great to have you guys. Welcome. So basically, we'll go ahead and get this show on the road here. So I want to go ahead and start breaking down Bitcoin at this point, now that we have given people ample time to join. And of course, guys, as I did mention, this is the bullish pennant that we were talking about in the last live stream. It was the last Patreon post, and then we did a live stream on it, and then now it's actually broken out. So if you guys were part of the last live stream or a part of the Patreon, then you guys, I guess you guys had prior knowledge about this. I got a message in the Discord earlier about the Ethereum, which we'll go on to next after this, talking about someone who actually made a good Ethereum trade because of the last live stream. So that's cool as well. So hopefully we'll be able to keep on calling what's happening and make some more good predictions for the next couple of coming days. So what's happening on Bitcoin? Okay, well, here's the short of it. We have our breakout, pretty decent volume, could be better. I mean, the volume was great. The price action was pretty good. I would have liked to see it, again, conquer a higher high. That is forever going to be my biggest problem with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency right now. Until that problem is broken, that is going to be my biggest struggle with kind of arguing for a bull market reversal. Is, again, we're still struggling to conquer some of these higher highs, and even more so, it's going to be a struggle to get back up to this range and conquer those higher highs. But I think the big thing about Bitcoin right now is the fact that we actually are looking like we're painting a little bit of a bull flag. And so I'll go ahead and break down a bull versus a bear flag, and why this is actually looking like a bull flag and why this is actually bullish, because it's downward consolidation. So, of course, we have our breakout, good volume. I mean, look at this volume on your 4 hour. It's actually great. I mean, we haven't seen volume levels like this since, well, I guess we have seen it earlier this December, but it's pretty rare. I mean, our volume over here is just, phenomenal. So, again, good to see this kind of volume come on a breakout. It's great to see it. We broke our EMAs, and now we're heading back upwards. So, again, really the only thing that we have above this at this point is we're actually still below. I don't know why I was thinking that we were below our 200 EMA, but we're actually above our 200 EMA at this point. So, but that's just on our 1 hour. That's why. So I was getting a little bit thrown off. So at this point, guys, I want to go ahead and show you guys why this is a bull flag and why this is actually bullish. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up a picture off of Google and explaining the bull versus the bear flag, because this is something that a lot of people have trouble with. So we're going to grab this picture and we're going to pull it onto the live stream. So this is the examples of how bull versus bear flags work. So this is a bull flag right over here, a bull flag in an uptrend. Here you go. We have our pennant, or we have our uptrend. And essentially, this is how we knew this was a bullish pennant, because what you had is you have an upwards, a pennant form, and then the breakout. And now we're actually painting the bull flag of what this is over here. Now, this is our essentially saying we had our breakout, which was this, and now this is leading into this one, because you had your breakout and now you're having downwards consolidation, which is almost always a bull flag, as it's titled over in here. Now, a bear flag is almost always when you are having upward sloping consolidation. It's a lot like rising and falling wedges, essentially. So imagine that this is falling, just like a falling wedge. It's going to be bullish. Rising, just like a rising wedge, it's going to be bearish. Pennants are neutral, but they always go with the trend. So if it's a downfall, then pennant, then you have bearish, and then if it's an uptrend, then pennant, it's a bullish pennant. But pennants, again, are relatively neutral. So getting rid of that and explaining why this is a bull flag, so now you guys can actually get a little bit of a seeing and understanding of why this could be a bull flag, is because, again, we're having downwards consolidation, just like the charts I just showed you guys, explaining why it's actually a bull flag. So that would be the reason. I want to go ahead and look over the chat and make sure I'm not missing anything. Trey James, great to have you in here. Lysandra, great to have you in here. Welcome, guys. Just doing a little bit of Bitcoin technical analysis. I've actually made some really good calls recently, to be honest. Handy says, lots of resistance ahead. I imagine people who missed getting out at around 6K are going to try to get out between the 4.5 and the 5K range. Review the 0x crypto, please. Absolutely, Lysandra. We can do that. We can actually do that today. We'll go ahead and do that in tonight's live stream. So I'll tell you what, we're going to take a look at Ethereum, and we'll take a look at 0x as well. So I'll put that on the list. Excuse me, I'm having a hard time talking. And we'll do an analysis of that as well. Sean said, think any shenanigans will happen during the BFX upgrade tomorrow? Yeah, to be honest, yeah, I do. There's always something, but the only problem that I have with that is that it's almost expected at this point. So I think that they like to stay unpredictable, so that when people expect it, they won't do it, but when people don't expect it, they will. So maybe they won't do it for like 3 patches and nothing will happen, and then people will get in this false sense of security and be like, oh, okay, well, they're not fooling around and pulling shenanigans again because they haven't done it for the past 3 times. And then the 5th and then the 3rd or 4th time after that, then they'll then they'll do BitMEX and Bitfinex things all over again. So yeah, I think they'll probably move like large amounts of like Tether during that period, and prices will fluctuate. That's why I don't chart on Bitfinex anymore, and I actually chart on Coinbase, because Tether is used as such a manipulation tool. Hassan said, one thing I've noticed is that many people are very bullish, hoping to see a sub 3K and sub 2K. I'm starting to doubt we will even get to those levels, honestly. Just a thought. No, so Hassan, me and you were actually in the same boat over here, because I've been saying that my overall target for this was actually 2.9K, and if we go ahead and we look over in this range, that actually never hit. We went all the way down to around 31.20, and that was as low as we went, and I thought for sure we were going to break 3K, and that's not something that we've had happen yet. No, again, something that I've said a while ago, like way down when we were touching this base support, is that we could actually come and rally and do something like this, touch resistance, then maybe come back down to around 2.9, 2.8K, then finally, and I actually want to put this on a 1 day so we can chart this a little bit better, then finally breaking out of this giant falling wedge that we're in. And that would actually be a good thing rather than a bad thing, because that would show that we're at support. It would get us a little bit more security, a little bit better of a rally, and probably a better breakout, to be honest, because then what you'd do is you'd break out about 75% of the way through the formation, and the breakout of a falling wedge of this size would be tremendous, because what you have right now is the largest falling wedge in the history of Bitcoin. And my chart, my resistance line is actually very screwed up, so this isn't right. I don't know how that got messed up, but it should be something a little bit more like this. So that's a lot better, because then we can actually see like touch points 1, 2, 3, and just basically see this thing riding it all the way down over here. So that's going to be, and it shouldn't be yellow either, but we can go ahead and edit this in a little bit, or you can just go ahead and mess with this right now. Make sure that this is staying clean and good and nice. We'll go ahead and make this like a dark red. There we go. So this is our overall resistance. This is our support. Both are acting pretty well right now. Both are getting respected. So it's good to see this out of Bitcoin. So again, if we do tank over here, I would expect it to be somewhere around this line of resistance, probably around 470, 480. That would be my ideal selling or shorting range. Now, again, I'm not going to probably short this resistance because it is a falling wedge. And if you're shorting the resistance of a falling wedge between 25 and 75% of the way through, it's essentially trading suicide. And I don't mean that in like a crazy or bad way, but like if that's essentially taking the highest risk possible. You're counter trading a very bullish formation continuation pattern at the point of the breakout. So that's like that's like having a statistical odds of 85% of the chance that you are wrong, and betting the 15% chance with no kind of leverage or bonus. You know, you kind of just put yourself at a disadvantage shorting somewhere up here. Now, if we get confirmation that we're getting rejected from this, then I'm okay with shorting this range. But like right now, we're doing things that, you know, are great. We've been doing things that we've been talking about a lot on the channel, and we're actually moving up and retesting this 50 EMA and MA. We're actually above the MA now, and we're retesting the 50 EMA on our daily chart. Now, this is great. Now, I want to say one thing. We are getting rejected. We saw ourselves get rejected over here. We saw ourselves actually get rejected again. Well, if we can pull it up, we're actually seeing ourselves getting rejected again over here, and now we have a new daily candle that is in the red and looks like it's about to go into rejection as well. But again, that's where things start breaking down onto a smaller time scale, and the more you look at this on a smaller time scale, the more you are actually noticing that this could be painting the bull flag that we were just talking about on Bitcoin, and why this isn't necessarily such a bad thing when we're seeing rejection. And in fact, if this is painting this bull flag like we want it to, then it should be able to keep on going from here and at least have another 1 or 2 legs up from this point. So I want to go ahead and highlight and draw out this price range, signifying, all right, so if this is about the price of this breakout, if we're able to go ahead and stack this again and replicate this, meaning probably 2 or 3 more times, where would that put us? So if that would put us all the way up to around 43.37, and then if we're able to move this about up to 43 into that same range, it would put us up not quite at resistance. Now, the legs up of these breakthroughs can actually vary, but, and so so they can definitely vary. So let's go ahead and give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say it goes somewhere around 470, 480. That's still not quite at resistance, but One big thing. Sorry, I'm trying to find my tool over here. Can't find it. But that's actually, okay, so, well, ignoring that. Even if we do have 3 legs up, just like you do usually over here, we're talking about the 3-leg down pattern. Usually have 1, then 2, and then now 3 legs down. And then now, again, we start seeing ourselves bottom up. The same thing goes up. Usually have around 3 legs up. So if this is a leg, I would like to see it be a little bit bigger of a leg, because again, that's kind of a small leg. And what we want to make sure that we're doing over here is that we're not replicating something like we saw over in this area where we come up. Well, actually, this might actually be a good example. So yeah, this is actually going to be a good example. We're actually going to use this as an example. So leg up, bull fly getting painted, again, downwards consolidation, break out, another leg up, downwards consolidation, break out, another leg up, and then that's pretty much where things start flatlining. And you had a higher high slightly, but for the most part, you had your 3 legs up, and then you had consolidation patterns forming. And that's where this actually starts getting really good, because you had 1, 2, 3 legs up, bullish pennant forming, and then you're having breakout with downwards consolidation, again saying, hey, bullfly could be getting painted, and you could be actually just repeating this whole process all over again, looking for yourself to actually make a whole nother measured move up at this point. And a lot of people have been talking about this inverse head and shoulders in this area. Personally, I don't know what to think about it. I think it's a little bit funky looking at this point. I think this was the great indicator that we are going to break up, not the inverse head and shoulders. But regardless of whether you bought down here for the inverse head and shoulders, or you bought this from the bullish pennant or bull flag or whatever you want to call this range, you know, it's looking bullish either way. And we've been talking about that. And here's the breakout. Now, I did label this at probably between a 60-40 to the bullish side, or maybe up to even a 75-25 in favor of the bulls at this point, because again, pennants are relatively neutral. I would label it at around a 75% chance versus a 25% chance, because of the fact that this was both a bull flag and a bullish pennant, and it was not just a bullish pennant, because those are about a 60-40 chance. But the fact that it was both labeled it around a 75-25% probability. So with Bitcoin right now, I don't want to go to, well, we still have to cover the RSI and the MACD. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll cover the RSI and then we'll move on to chat. Actually, I want to go ahead and cover chat right now, and then we'll move on from there. So I want to make sure I'm not ignoring everything that's going on over here. Lysandra says, awesome. Yeah, of course. Yeah, so we're going to do 0x here next. That makes sense, lol. Hey, man, hey, Justin, great to have you in here. Welcome. That looks to me, I'll read that one more time. That looks to me what we might be in for again over the next few days equals we definitely know more tomorrow. Yeah, and that's the great thing about trading, and I always say this, is that don't force yourself into trades. So many people have this idea that they have to force themselves into trade, and the best advice, some of the best advice I was ever given at trading, if you guys are traders, is let the trades come to you. There are situations where people are so freaked out at making trades that they try to trade when something isn't there. And they're trying to force trades on and see something that's not actually there. You know, if you are a good trader, you're able to recognize when there are times where you can make 2-3 great trades in a day, and there are times where you take days away from trading. Now, again, some people don't do that. Some people are going to disagree with that. But for me personally, and being the more swing trader kind of style that I am, there are times in here where I'm saying, all right, I'm not trading today. I'm not trading maybe tomorrow. I'm waiting for better information. And then there's other days where I'm making a couple trades a day, and you know, we're getting 50% profits per trade. But it's all about preserving losses. And if you can go and make consistent, if you can make less trades essentially, but be consistent in winning those trades, I think it's more important than making 5 trades a day and losing, and you know, probably losing 2 or 3 of them. I don't know if that made sense, but it's like Justin said, yeah. So trigger happy people that feel like they have to day trade a couple times a day. Like, I know a lot of people who are like, I have to do 5 trades a day, and then they get in here and they try to look at stuff and imagine things that aren't there and make trades out of things that aren't possible, and then they end up losing. And then one day they lose 3 out of 5, and then the next day they win 3 out of 5, and then they only lose the 2. But like, it's just so inconsistent. I would rather make 10 trades in a month and have 9 of those trades win, and just be patient. I hope that makes sense. But that's just me. Randy said, please continue with your TA as planned. Of course, my dude. Slice Keeper said, hey, what kind of breakout can we see if Cardano breaks resistance at 1252 Is it overbought at this point? We'll actually take a look at that after 0x. We're going to take a look at 0x. And actually, that's something I want to ask. Lissandro, did you want me to look at 0x to Bitcoin or to the US dollar pairing? You let me know, and I'll go ahead and take a look at it right now. People feel like it's necessary to trade and get wrecked. Yeah, that was one of the biggest problems that I had actually when I started day trading and using leverage trading, is that I felt like I just had the power to trade anything, because if I could leverage it, then I could make trades that I wouldn't normally be able to do, because I can add as much volatility as I want. So, yes, also Ethereum. Is Lissandro still here? I'll tell you what, we're going to go ahead and look at this to a Bitcoin pairing, and then... Oh, he said USD. All right, we're going to the USD. We're switching it over. All right, we're going to do this from Coinbase Exchange. I hope that's all right. If not, you just tell me, and I will switch it up. So, looking at 0x. Well, actually, no, we should not do this from the from Coinbase. It's too. We'll actually have to look at this from Bitfinex. So, what are we seeing over here? Well, we're getting a little bit of downwards consolidation. We broke down, consolidating now at this point, looking not too much different, but it looks like it's actually trying to get some sort of rally in over here. I want to go ahead. Okay, so we are on the 4 hour. Man, that is a weird looking candle. It is not every day you see something like that. That is just a weird, funky looking candle in this area, in between the green and the red one. Like you can't. I don't even think you can label that as like a double top. It's just a wow. You don't see candles like that a lot. So, if I'm looking at this right now, again, you could be looking to swing trade ZRX at this point. Once it got added to Coinbase, of course, it took a pretty hefty, well, not even that, well, it took a little bit of a hefty dump. It really hasn't moved that much in a while, since like November. But if we're looking at this from our 4 hour point, it's not really telling us much. Your oscillators are still pointing upwards, which is pretty nice. And again, this is another big thing, is looking at your oscillators on a larger time scale and seeing that, like, you know, this negative momentum is actually kind of going away at this point. So keep an eye on that. It's not to say that it can just disappear and this isn't going to happen again, but take a look. If you are a swing trader, while you are seeing kind of, oh, where is it? Equal levels at this point, double top on your oscillators, and you are starting to see this fade away at this point, and you're starting to rally lower. This is still pointed upwards. It might be trying to round out on your 4 hour as we speak, and maybe actually try to form some sort of bearish divergence at this point. So maybe in the short term might not be a good buy, but if you're going for a swing trade over here, we're actually going to have to look at this on a daily chart, because that's where things are really going to start getting interesting. And it's also where things get a lot more complicated, because, well, I mean, I guess this doesn't look as bad. What really scares me, though, is how violent this oscillator got from its previous rallies. It was on a really good path over here, getting like consistently like I think it was 5 swing lows. So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, saying, okay, hey, the negative volatility is going away from your oscillators on your MACD. But then you had this breaking the pattern and not actually being too good. So I would have liked to see this be respected at somewhere below this range, but now that you have broke the pattern, you actually could be looking for some sort of an upsides, because again, when you kind of see these giant oscillator waves down, they usually, if you are swing trading it, then you could be in a good boat for a swing trade at this point. Because while the oscillators are riding up and you're seeing your negative volume, your negative volatility leave 0x token, it's actually at a pretty low price at this point. And with it on like Coinbase and Binance and Bitfinex and a lot of these exchanges being a pretty popular coin, if you are looking for a long-term hold, then this might be a swing trading option. I don't own any. I can't give advice on when you should buy or anything like that, but keep note of this support line. You do have a double bottom on your one-day chart. Pretty significant. If you're a trader, you're really liking that, because a double bottom is bullish, and it's on support as well. So here now you have a support forming on 0x. You're getting rejected from your 50-day MA as we speak. So maybe if this was to come back down and get a good entry point, I would say a good entry point, if I was looking to trade 0x, would be somewhere along this resistance line, because that would be the best area of value. Because buying buying on the support line is the best area of value, because this is where it has a past history of bouncing off of. So if I was trading this, I would wait for somewhere around the support line. Currently, that would be around 32 cents, 33 cents, probably around 32 cents. And once it touches that, 32 is actually kind of a broad range in here, but somewhere around 32.5, 32.7. So if it does touch this support range, I'm looking, hey, this might be a good area to swing trade. Keep a tight stop loss in here in case this does break enough so that I don't get wicked out by maybe a piercing candle, but have this tight enough on a daily perspective so that if this does break down, you're preserving your losses and you're losing minimal here. So again, risk versus loss ratio in these kind of situations is huge, because say that you do get a good entry, and actually we might actually see a pennant on our one day. I actually want to highlight this now. Just saw this as we were speaking. So keep this in mind. Now you have 1-2 touches on resistance, 1-2 touches on support. So what we could see in this area is maybe something like this. Again, pennant. But to be honest, in this situation, this is a bearish pennant as we were talking about earlier. So if we're looking at a breakdown of price, you have breakdown, some sort of maybe pennant or bear flag forming, and then this could be another breakdown. So again, be careful. You can buy on support over here, but it's like I said, if I was going to buy on support over here, I would have a very tight stop loss. I'd look for my entry, and if it failed the support and actually broke through, I would have my stop loss trigger, and then I would preserve myself if it fell. But can we actually draw up a risk versus reward ratio at this point? So let's just say our entry was in this range. Man, this thing is so large. Sorry guys, my voice is a little bit hoarse. Getting a little bit sick. But the show goes on. So let's just say that this whole area over here was our entry range, right? Risk versus reward at this point, if you do keep a type stop. So let's just make this even a little bit bigger. So that's going to be maybe your stop loss anywhere below this range at around 31.5. That would be my stop loss. Over here, this would be my entry point. Anywhere in the red is really my entry point. Anything below that's going to be my stop loss. And then anywhere in the green is essentially going to be where you can sell. Now, ideally, your risk versus reward ratio right here is 9.02, which is pretty high if you're looking for any kind of trade. So if you like this, you're actually kind of liking this area because you're able to buy on from the looks of it, you're able to buy on support and hopefully get a good risk versus reward ratio if you're entering a swing trade at this point. Because if we draw a fib retracement up, what we're actually seeing over here is, go ahead and draw this out a little bit larger from our previous swing, is that we actually drew this upside down again. This has been one of my bad habits recently. So as of right now, I would probably expect at least a 382 bounce. So if we could move this up even more, so if you were looking for like a 382 bounce, you could be looking at a 13.34 risk versus reward ratio, but with the potential gain of like 73%. So swing traders are loving this area, and that's the great thing about cryptocurrency, is that so many people make money swing trading cryptocurrencies because look at how volatile this is. If you're just patient and you know when to buy the bottom, then you can actually make a great amount of money. But it's all about knowing what you're doing and actually preserving yourself, because imagine that if you are making these entries and say you're buying somewhere over, say that you think that this is actually bottoming out over in this range for whatever reason, and then you buy here, you set a stop loss so that if you fall through like right here, you immediately get cut out right here and you maybe lose like the 1%, 2%, 3%, whatever this range is that you have, and then you preserve yourself from falling all the way down here, and then you can readjust that and get your entry, and then again, maybe make another entry in this range, put the stop loss in, and then if it rides up, you're kind of able to sell at your leisure. So again, guys, stop losses, I can't really emphasize stop losses enough. They are so crucial. If you're not like at your computer and you're just going to leave them there, like highly recommend having a stop loss. But that's just me. So, okay, I guess it breaks it down. Would I swing trade 0x token? To be honest, it's hard to say. At this point, Probably not. I'm just so busy with other things. I'm so busy with, again, like YouTube and the Discord and the Patreon and making videos and all of that. And actually, I'm having a hard time trading for myself because I've been so busy just pumping out videos every day. So probably not at this point, because the most of the trading that I do at this point is strictly in Bitcoin. Maybe I'll trade Ethereum or XRP, something rarely. But I used to swing trade a lot, and this would be something that I would probably take. Keep a type, if I did, I'd probably keep a type stop loss on it. But I don't know. I like leverage trading now. That's like my big thing. I want to go ahead and take a look at Ethereum. Hopefully I made that sense, or hopefully that made sense. I'm a little bit ADD, so like my thoughts bounce everywhere, like from the ceiling to the wall to the floor. But this isn't the chart I wanted either. All right, I'm going to go ahead and back to chat over here, and we're going to take a look at what you guys are saying. Geez, not Kraken. Anything but Kraken. Hopefully that made sense, Sancho. So, again, when you're looking at swing trading, making sure that you, again, we did say that that could be a bearish pennant. So again, stop loss is really going to be the name of the game at this point, because a lot of people, as we've been talking about in this live stream, have been talking about how crypto, they don't think crypto has bottomed yet. I personally don't think crypto has bottomed yet either. So again, you have to be careful. Now, while it could go, again, it could go on like a nice bull run here, but stop losses are going to be the name of the game, especially for swing traders, because you're kind of betting against the odds with that being a bearish pennant. So I can't give you any kind of like legal, tax, or financial advice of how to trade. But if I was in that situation, I would be watching that closely and trying to decide whether or not it was worth the risk. Ethereum. Actually, I said I would read through chat. Let's go ahead and read through chat over here. Also, Ethereum. Oh, and we're at it. Ethereum. Poker Throat, welcome, dude. We're just getting started. No worries. If you want anything Poker Throat, just type in chat and I'll be sure to go through it. Sandra said, I'm planning to keep my coins for 5 years. Oh, okay. So if you're planning to keep your coins for 5 years or more for 0x, then like this is what I've been told. If you're planning the long-term hold, the best time to buy was yesterday. That's always what I've been told from mentors. And it's like again, it's a very popular quote. I think I mentioned it last stream. It's kind of funny and ironic, but I want to highlight this on Ethereum real fast. I've got over 25,000 coins. Wow. Yeah, I mean, again, if you're long-term holding, then trading doesn't really matter. Short-term doesn't really matter. I guess if you're accumulating more, that could be a thing. But if you're holding for 5 years, the chart for it really doesn't matter a whole lot. The chart for it, none of this, to be honest, matters. You could just, I mean, you could look at this from a week chart, and personally, I believe, like, oh, geez, this looks horrible from a 1 week. God. Well, I mean, actually, it doesn't look that bad. I want to chart this, actually, now. Ooh, look at this. Look at what we're discovering over here. Actually, wait a second. Look at this. I kind of like this. Actually, we'd actually have to draw this even tighter. Huh. I don't like how there's not enough touch points for resistance. You can almost kind of count this as a resistance, but it's more of like touching the heart line and falling through. This actually has me curious now. So if we're looking at Ethereum, man, wow. Look at this. So we peaked with our MACD in April. This is actually starting to bottom out. So we're looking at this from the 1 week chart on Coinbase. And I want to highlight a couple of things in here. Is that you came down slightly lower, down again, and now we're actually up in the upside. This thing's up in the upside for the first time since February of 2018. I want to highlight that for the Ethereum chart. This thing's in the upside since the first time in 2018. Down here on your oscillators, they're rounded upwards for the first time since in almost a year. I mean, this thing has not been pointing upwards in almost an entire year. And here you go, your 1 week chart is actually pointing upwards. You're seeing bullish. You're actually on the bullish side of the scale, and your oscillators are both pointing upwards at this point. Look at how they came down very, very hard. You're seeing this level of support, and they're actually pointing upwards again. Your RSI is actually going to be really cool too, because your RSI oversold, and now it's heading back up. The only thing that scares me in this range is that, I want to highlight this as well again, bearish divergence on your RSI up here. Very clear bearish divergence from January of 2018. Jeez. That should have been like a dead giveaway to get out of Ethereum in January. But another thing is, hey, you were oversold. This was a record level, at least from the Coinbase chart exchange. I think we're on Coinbase, right? Just to make sure. Yeah, we are. Cool. So yeah, this is the Coinbase chart. Record low on your Coinbase chart for Ethereum 1 week on your RSI. Came into the oversold territory, heading back upwards. The only thing that I'm scared about is usually when things are this overbought, they tend to go pretty deep into oversold territory as well. But with this being a 1 week chart, it's hard to say that those rules still apply, because the 1 week chart is so much more significant and so much more, it's so much more hard to move on indicators like this. So I don't know. This actually was looking like a solid chart for Ethereum. Because if this is a falling wedge and this broke out, like, that would be awesome. Like, honestly. Like, the measured move for this thing would be giant. Like, this thing could easily go, if this is like full on breakout of a falling wedge, this thing could go back up to like $300, over $300. So I would love to see this. Or maybe, hold on, let's check. Where would it go? Yeah, probably around $300. Jeez. Kind of glad I caught that. What are you guys saying over in here in chat? Shorts oversold and longs overbought. Liquidate longs. What's up, Deg? Great to have you in here. I don't think I've seen you here before, Deg, but it's great to have you, my man. Longs during an outrage and liquidate shorts on the way up when it reopens. Oh, is that for the Bitfinex? Yeah, dude, there's always cloudy stuff that happens when Bitfinex goes offline. Lysandra said, I purchased around 13K, and now it's down to 8,006. I purchased around 16,000, but now it's down to 8,000. Thank you for the review, my friend. Yeah, I'm glad I could help and go over 0x and kind of give my opinion about the situation. Lol, what's wrong with Kraken? They just have a really bad history. They have a very long history of not being the most reliable exchange. I know a lot of people that have tried to get money out of Kraken and been denied, especially when times are bad. It kind of goes into the whole proof of keys thing that hopefully we're going to talk about here in a little bit. I actually forgot I was in Discord. So it goes hand in hand with the whole kind of proof of keys event, is that when times get bad or times get volatile, they kind of shut down and say you can't take your money off, or, oh, we're under maintenance, and they're really not. There's just been like a lot of shady stuff with Kraken. So I personally stay away from Kraken. I don't trust them. If you guys watch The Modern Investor as well, he's another crypto YouTuber. He does not like Kraken. He's had personal, very bad experiences with them and has taken his money off of there. And that's just like another warning sign for me of why I wouldn't. I just feel like there's better places to keep my money. If I'm keeping it on an exchange, or if I'm even trading on an exchange, I would much rather trade on Coinbase or Binance, or maybe even Bitfinex. But I wouldn't ideally go to Kraken. Thank you. Justin, welcome. Great to have you in here. Slightly off topic, do you trade Forex or any other markets? So something that I'm getting into is precious metal trading, such as like gold, silver. I have worked with stocks before. I really want to learn Forex. That is the one market that I just don't know. I know about it, but I don't know how to trade with it, essentially. I hope that makes sense. So I know like knowledge about the market, but if you were to give me money and tell me to trade it just like I trade cryptos or stocks or something like that, I would probably have a hard time. So like, I guess I have the fundamentals understandings of it, but I don't have like the trading experience in Forex. But personally, I believe Forex is like one of the best markets to be in. just from like the fundamental standpoint. How do you know OX will succeed? You mean Z? What is OX, Handy? Sean said, well, would you look at that? I know, right? Would you look at this? Do you think it will dump after the fork? Yes, I do. I do. Everything dumps after a fork. It depends how big the fork is and how much hype was put into it artificially. That's why we're actually going to be talking about why that's a very good case scenario in just a second when we're actually finishing this TA of Ethereum. I'm just trying to go through chat. Coinbase held my crypto for 2 months. They closed my account for no reason. Really? I've never heard of that happening. That's brutal. No wonder. Yeah, I mean, if that happened to me, I'd be pissed. I don't like Coinbase either, to be honest. I really don't like Coinbase. I have a horrible history with Coinbase. I really like Binance, though. They are my favorite. So let's go ahead and talk about this. Let's go ahead and break this down, and we'll get back to chat in a second. So this rising wedge on Ethereum is arguably one of the most significant things for me, is because, again, we broke down. For a short time, we were using it as support again, fell back down, faked out of it, came back up, touched this ascending triangle resistance, got rejected from that, and now we're below our falling wedge, our rising wedge again. So it kind of asks the question, with us really not respecting this, what was support over up in here with like 3 touch points, with us not really respecting that anymore, can we kind of just go ahead and signal that this might be an ascending triangle? I personally believe the answer is no. I'm still going to keep this resistance line in here, at least for a little bit longer. You know, if it breaks out, then great. But again, it's pretty heavy. I mean, you're seeing the confirmation being 1, 2, 3 in this area. It's a pretty heavy support, so I don't want to kind of just ignore it at this point. I think it's too early to be able to ignore this kind of a support. But I'm trying to delete these. But what could very well happen at this point with Ethereum, again, volume starting to fade off. I would love to see, again, guys, in a perfect world, I would love to see Ethereum come back down, hit this area, around these EMAs and MAs, or come and hit this area of support and break out. I think that would lead for such a great Ethereum breakout if it was able to rally and come down and do something along those lines. It's still I still believe it's in a rising wedge formation at this point. It's still getting squeezed upwards, which regardless of how it looks, if it's getting squeezed upwards like this, it's going to be a rising wedge. So I'm having a hard time rallying with Ethereum right now. It's having such a hard time at this resistance level. Overall, I would say I'm bullish for Ethereum. I would say short term, I'm kind of bearish for Ethereum. Long and mid term, I'm kind of I would say mid and long term, I'm actually kind of bullish for Ethereum. So probably just in the short term, I would be bearish, just because it's not getting the volume and the volatility that it needs to be able to break out of this area. But I mean, with that being said, again, your RSI, kind of a clear indicator that it's not looking that strong. But it's supposed to be breaking out. And then you have your 1 day, which again, I think you're with your 1 day rounding off. It's the same thing as we said in the Ethereum technical analysis video from like a day ago, from yesterday, where just because this rounds off, it could come down here, get a higher low, and then rally. And then, I mean, okay, sorry, that was a moon chart. It could come down here and do something like this, have a higher low, something in this area, hit support, then rally back, and then you're going into the overbought territory. I think that would be a great Ethereum run. I think it would do so much more for Ethereum if it could just come back down here, touch some support, and then rally, rather than just deciding to rally right now. So, current thoughts on Ethereum. Well, this is looking, I mean, again, I think, because again, what that would also do is just verify that this is an ascending triangle. I was talking to some other guys today talking about why we are all kind of bullish on Ethereum is because of this, and it can go a lot higher. And again, Bitcoin's looking pretty good too. So I guess if Bitcoin, and that was another thing, when Bitcoin went up today, Ethereum really didn't move a whole lot. So keep that in mind. But then you have like Litecoin that went up a ton, Tron that went up a ton, Bitcoin that went up a ton, and then you have Ethereum, kind of like Ethereum and 0x, and I think XRP too, which all kind of just sat still. Yeah, I mean, haven't really moved a whole lot. What were we going to talk about? Someone was talking about another cryptocurrency. I lost it. I know someone was asking for another coin, and I said I'd get to it. Did you think it would dump after the fork? Yeah, so I actually kind of do think it'll dump after the fork. Coinbase help. Okay, I went through that one. Fundamental analysis is imperative to trade Forex. I think it's a little more predictable than crypto. Obviously, crypto is more volatile. Yeah, agreed. And so what I've been told is, again, I haven't got the chance to trade Forex yet, but crypto is, from what I've been told, the hardest market to trade in. I agree with that. I think crypto is harder to trade than stocks. I would assume it's harder to trade than Forex. I've had friends who are in it, and I've always been told from people who trade all three markets. Cardano, that was it. I've had friends who traded in all three markets, and everyone kind of has a general understanding that crypto is the hardest market to trade in. So if you can trade in crypto, you can really trade in anything. So wow, look at this. This is perfect. I mean, look at this. Didn't we just talk about this the other day? Didn't we just talk about this in the last live stream or something? Because we just drew up these support lines, that's for sure. Okay. We need to get rid of this. So, I mean, classic breakout. I mean, came up, formed your pennant, bullish pennant, same thing as Bitcoin, exact same thing. Look at this. Classic, just like bullish pennant action. Rode support, rode your 50 EMA, use this thing as support for so long. Let's go ahead and zoom in and kind of break this down. So again, rode this 50 EMA until it broke out pretty much. And you had, this thing again had 1 million entries on it. If you were to draw something up like this, like, geez. You could draw something like that. This thing had 1 million entries on it. I want to go and change this back to blue. Blue's a lot easier to look at. So, Cardano playing great. And you want to know the best thing about this chart is the fact that it hit a higher high. That is really, really good. Very good. If you're holding Cardano right now, you are loving this chart because this thing is just looking beautiful. In fact, let's go ahead and draw up a little bit of a larger scale time frame over here. Let's switch this to the daily and see what we can do. Because now that we have a higher high on our daily chart, which is huge, again, huge, we can really kind of see where we can go over here. Now, could this form a rising wedge? Yeah, it could. So I would say be careful at this point. I would probably measure over here instead. And it would probably look something like this if it did. But I wonder if we could also do this as a parallel. Well, you can't do this as a parallel channel. So this is the one say I would say look out for Cardano, is that it really kind of needs to like contradict any kind of a rising wedge that it would form. But nonetheless, guys, this in itself, with Cardano having a higher high on a daily chart, is great. It's great. So I wouldn't be too scared as of right now. Maybe you get some pullback at this point, but I think in the ultimate end, this is going to follow Bitcoin. Cardano, yeah, that was it. I use Binance Exchange to my fiat on a regulated exchange. Buy on Coinbase when injecting new funds, which hasn't been for a while. Yeah, so I'm the same way, Randy. Literally the exact same way. I buy on Coinbase from fiat, and then I move it from fiat. Oh, Pete, welcome, dude. Great to have you in here. And then I transfer from Coinbase to Coinbase Pro, from Coinbase Pro to Binance, and that way I avoid the fees, because that's how you go feeless trading. I use BitQuick and buy Bitcoin with cash to enter this fee. What is BitQuick? I'd love to know what BitQuick is, Randy. I've actually never heard of it, to be honest. Never tie your bank account to your crypto unless you are moving more than 10K at a time. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I have mixed feelings about that. I have mine tied to my bank account just because I use Coinbase, and it's really easy. But I understand why you wouldn't want to. I'm still trying. How many? I want to do a poll. I'll probably do a poll on my YouTube. But how many of you guys are filing tax reports for your cryptocurrency? Just say yes if you are filing your tax reports and no if you are not. I want to know that as well. Visa raided my bank account last year. Oh, again, I don't want to get started. I have a bad history with Coinbase. I don't like Coinbase. I don't like Kraken either. But Coinbase really frustrates me when it comes to Visa accounts. What exchange do you suggest for shorting instead of Kraken? BitMEX is my favorite. Akala, also welcome to the chat, Akala. Great to have you in here. Personally, my favorite for shorting is not Kraken, is BitMEX. That's my favorite. You have to be careful on BitMEX, and you generally have to be living outside of the United States unless you use a VPN. But really, you're not supposed to use BitMEX unless you're outside of the United States. But it's my favorite. I think it's probably one of the best. Also, if you don't want to use BitMEX, I would suggest Deribit. Deribit is another great one. I would say it's actually kind of better than BitMEX. They're slightly different because one is what's it called? Vertical spread, and the other one is horizontal spread. So they're slightly different in how they work. Sand Studios, great to have you in here. So Randy says not yet. You say yes, no. Probably not. Can you use it to buy Litecoin? That's a good question. Canadian tax authorities just suggest you keep records. Says yes. So so that's the thing, is apparently the United States government is supposed to be cracking down this year, and whether they are, and again, we'll get back to the TA in a second. We're actually going to cover, I think it was XRP next, because we have to finish Cardano, and then we'll go to XRP. Oh, no, then we're doing Litecoin. I forgot about Litecoin. Finding it's hard to be bullish on alts in the short term, although have some show signs decoupling from Bitcoin. I still think Bitcoin hasn't found its bottom yet, and the alts will follow. Yeah, so I'm in the same boat. Again, I don't think Bitcoin has found its bottom yet, at least not yet. I would love to get a 28, 2,900 buy-in for Bitcoin and get just start buying it up from there. That would be my ideal buy price. But we'll see. We'll see. It could go, I think personally, it could go anywhere down the bottom of Bitcoin, and this is going to be a giant range, so don't hate me for saying this, but I think that the bottom for Bitcoin can be anywhere between 1,100 and 3,000. That is, anywhere in that range could be a bottom for Bitcoin. I really would be shocked if it fell any further than that, but I have good reason to believe somewhere in there is the bottom. From a technical analysis standpoint, it really wouldn't make much sense for it to fall any further. No slice keeper use Kraken or BitQuick. What is BitQuick? I actually want to know. What would be good confirmation for an Ethereum short? We'll talk about that in 1 second. Let me just finish up the Cardano analysis, and then we'll talk about it. So if you are in Cardano and you're trading this, you could maybe sell a portion of it up here, and then that way you're having some gains, and if it falls back down, you're not losing everything. But I would always recommend, when you start seeing, whenever you're confident or comfortable with your trade, take a little bit of profit. Don't forget to reward yourself. So many people just hodl and hodl and hodl, and you can't do that in a bear market. You really can't do that when you're trading. Know when to exit, know when to enter, and know when to exit. Because it's really easy to enter on stuff like this because it's given to you. It's like okay, you buy on support somewhere around this area on this giant blue line, but like a lot of people have a hard time finding exits. So again, something that I do is layer my exits, sell a little bit up here, then maybe sell, if it goes any higher, then maybe sell a little bit more wherever you see resistance. I will say the good thing about Cardano is that you really don't have resistance until you hit this area, like all the way up here. So maybe you would want to hold Cardano. Maybe it does come back down and it touches support, and then it goes back up again. But to be honest, I don't see why Cardano, and I can't, again, this isn't a trade advice in any way, but I don't see why Cardano can't come back up to this area and actually touch this resistance. Now, this is where the resistance is going to get hard, because you have this and this and this. And these are going to act as resistance. It's nothing too hard. This area is going to be a whole lot worse, but I think that it could. I don't see really a reason why it can't come and touch this. It's broken. It's broken. Really, all the hard resistance. It's already gone through. The worst of the hard resistance is gone. the next set of hard resistance that you have is in this area over here. So it's around 6 cents, 6.1 cents. So again, we'll see if it goes up that range, but like I really don't see from a TA standpoint, there's really nothing in between here and there. So the resistance wouldn't be hard for it to break through. All right. Moving on. RSI. Okay, keep an eye. Again, this is a 4-hour chart. It's not a 1 day, so it's not as significant. Keep an eye on that. And keep an eye on that. This is now pointing downwards. It's not to say that it can't come back up, but keep an eye on this, because even if you ignore this, this isn't. So this is what I call lower lows, right? You're having, or excuse me, higher lows over here, but that's all within the same swing. Higher lows on different swings is where it starts getting really significant, because what happens is that here's one giant swing, and then after this it bottomed out and it's swinging back up again, and on the separate swing over here on your second swing with your first swing high, it's also a lower swing high. Now this, again, it's not completely confirmed that it's pointing down yet, but it's starting to say, hey, it could be, this could be the top of your RSI over here. And if this is double bearish divergence on your RSI, you know, hodlers beware, or traders beware. So just my thoughts. If I was actually trading Cardano right now, I'd keep a very close eye on my 4-hour RSI. But and then here again, here's the hard time with that, because you have to look at this from a 1-day perspective as well. Your 1 day is looking pretty good. I mean, you're still pointing pretty much straight upwards. You have a higher high on your RSI 1 day. But I think this is, again, I think the Cardano is looking a lot like Ethereum, to be honest. I have pretty much the same thoughts on both of those. I think you could have retraces, but they're not looking horrible right now. They really aren't. So, again, I don't see, my final conclusion is I don't see any reason why this can't touch a higher level. You're using what used to be resistance as support, and yeah. Let's go through chat, and then we'll move on here. Neither do I. Coinbase, Litecoin, Binance, BTC. Is BitQuick KYC? Definitely agree. If it falls below 2,800, there is little support until around 1,800. Okay, I actually want to go to Bitcoin real fast, because I keep hearing the $1,800 number, and I haven't been able to find out why people are saying it. And that's probably just me being ignorant and not looking. So $1,800 be here. I don't know. I don't think that's enough support for me. That's enough. So the problem with the whole $1,800 argument is that, and again, this isn't anything against you. I'm in a, it's not even a large, it's actually a very small Discord where it's very experienced crypto people, very experienced traders who are in cryptocurrency and blockchain and all that. It's a very small Discord, but it's, the people in there are very experienced. And they were talking about the $1,800 number, and that's what got me thinking about it. And the only problem I have with that is I understand that you have candle body closing over here and you have these in here, but I don't know if that's going to be enough for it to bottom out. Now, this range in here is a lot more consolidation and support, but that's not until you hit around 12,000, or excuse me, 1,200, 1,100. That's where this range really starts being effective with consolidation and support. So that's why I think if you fall through this range, I think it's pretty much going to be a pretty fast fall until you hit this range, being your next support, your second support, and I think that this would be the final support. I really wouldn't see this breaking. I mean, if it did, it would go down like 775, and that would be brutal. But again, I just don't see that happening. This range pretty much ranges for me. I would say that, again, probably ends somewhere around 2,100, 2,200, all the way up to like 2,900. Really up to $3,000. This whole area is going to be a ton of support. It'd be hard to kind of break this area. But the thing is, it is very hard to break this area on Bitcoin, but if it did, it would fall very fast. You'd probably find some sort of consolidation in here, but I think that this would even break. So I hope that made sense. And I could be very wrong, but that's just like my thoughts on it. Like, I just see this and this as a whole lot of support. Like, if this can't hold a support, I wouldn't expect this to hold a support. That's just, like, my thoughts on it, though. And, again, a lot of those experienced traders that I'm in that Discord with, they disagree with me. So, I'm not always right. I'm not Crypto Jesus. What are we looking at next, guys? Guys, what are we looking at next? I think we were talking about Litecoin. We were talking about XRP. We were talking about a couple different things. But yeah, Justin, again, I think the $2,800 to $1,800 range is very smart. So, agree with you there. Very agree with you. Mark Prudy says, have you ever charted Apple? Is that Apple or APL? Is that like a crypto APL, or are we talking Apple? I guess we're talking Apple. So APPL? I actually have. A lot, to be honest. But I don't own any stocks at this point. If you guys have been a part of the channel for a while, you guys have known that I've been talking a lot of trash about stocks since the beginning of the year. And I told everyone you couldn't pay me to own a stock in 2018, and that I got out of mine, or I would have gotten out of mine. Let's put it this way. See, the hard part with YouTube is I have to watch how I word everything, because unfortunately the world that we live in today, if I don't word things perfectly, people will try to sue me. So I have to watch how I phrase things. So anyway, I was basically saying sell your stocks at the beginning of the year. Or not at the beginning of the year, probably like, I would say spring and summer is when I was like telling people, my friends, you need to get out of your stocks. And they laughed at me. And so did the company that I worked with. But they're feeling it now. Sorry, that's such a rant. God, I get a little bit ADD sometimes. I thought I could do some arbitrage with my exchanges, but price differences was not enough. Plus volatility is a factor, 15 minutes to a half an hour. Yeah. Poker Thread, I think, has done that before. He's actually done swing trading from exchanges because the prices were so rampant at one point. Slicekeeper, I do not believe BitQuick is KYC. Do you need a basic ID? You do need a basic ID. Okay, that's good. Wow, but there's a ton of chat. I'm sorry, guys. I am just not with it tonight. Selling Bitcoin on BitQuick is free. Ooh, look at that. I think selling it on Robinhood, and Robinhood's free as well now. Wow. BitQuick is like local Bitcoins, but you can use cash or Western Union. Okay, that's big. Western Union. Wow, that's actually huge. Wait, how is the start of a bull run? I don't get it. How is this the start of a bull run? So GF, what we are saying is that it's not. I've been saying I don't think it is. A lot of the experienced guys that I work with, they don't think it is either. I think this is a great rally, right? I think it's great, but I don't think it's a market reversal, right? I have nothing saying that this is a market reversal yet. But so I agree with you. I don't know how this is the start of a bull run. Right now, you can't claim that. And the people that are claiming that are going on a wild guess, because there's not enough evidence, or as of right. I mean, look at this. You can't look at this and be like, oh, that's a market reversal, right? There's just not enough evidence to make that kind of a decision at this point. So any kind of experienced like technical analysis person is saying, from what we have, there is not enough knowledge to make that kind of a decision. Nobody is Crypto Jesus. I know people who claim to be. I know YouTubers who claim to be. And I know people who are in the crypto community, very large figureheads that claim to be. I know people that claim to be Satoshi Nakamoto as well. So you'd be surprised. I agree with you. No one is, but for some reason people think that they are. Justin says, either way, I hope we bottom out so we can buy up ridiculously low prices. I am 100% in agreement with you, Justin. All the more for lower prices means easier accumulation. You have 3.8k subs, nice, but no one is going to sue you, Rosso chill. Yeah, I mean, I would disagree. I've had friends who are smaller than me. I wouldn't say friends, like associates who have people who have tried, and I have people who are larger than me that I know who have tried. So people larger and smaller than me, and they've already had lawsuits. So I have a disclaimer and everything, which usually saves me from anything, but $1,200 is the top of the 2013 bull market. Again, a good reason why I said it's great support. Lots of nutty people, yeah, unfortunately. Lots of TAs I've heard have been suggesting a move up like this to 4.3 and then back down. Big time. Some are saying 5K, then down, down, down. So why would we say 5K? Well, that would put us right at resistance up here. So that's why they're saying 5K, and that's why it makes sense. So 5K would be this resistance of this giant falling wedge that we're in. So that would make a whole lot of sense if we did hit 5K. I would love to hit 5K. I think that'd be great. And then come back down and probably hit like a lower low at around 2,700, 2,800. I'd be fine with that. But that's Bitcoin. Again, you're going to have to break this 50 EMA soon. So if you can, there's really... So this is the cool thing about Bitcoin at this point, is that, again, it's having a hard time breaking this 50 EMA. But if Bitcoin breaks this 50 EMA, like, what's holding it between Bitcoin and 5K? Like, really? Like, think about it. If it's breaking this area, what is holding Bitcoin between it and 5K? There is, like, there's nothing. It's the same reason why we go over here and we say, what was holding Bitcoin from falling in this range? Like, there's just such little candles. Like, over here, yeah, you had consolidation, but it's like what's holding it from falling at this point? Or in this point? And it's the same thing, saying what's holding it from going up in this point. So, again, it needs to break this line. It's at a pretty hard resistance, but if it can break this resistance, I don't see any reason why it can't hit 5K. So, that's my personal thoughts on Bitcoin right now. If it can break this, I might be down to long it. What's happening over here? Randy said, but then there's always the unexpected. Yeah. Unexpected news. Moon lost. Yeah, I don't know. That's like the meme. That's something I never really hear anymore, as I never really hear moon. Unless it's like a meme or something, but... Moon shoot. That used to be the word. First quarter of 2018, that's all I heard was moon shoot. That's all I saw on videos. I told people to get out of stock market in October, and then you are right. Chart crypto is harder than stocks. Yeah, I personally think it is, but I think it's way more rewarding. So I don't, and I always tell my friends, like, they're always like, well, why don't you do stocks more than you do crypto? And I say, because I can make more money in crypto than I can in stocks. And it has better scalability. So if I invest, put it this way, if I invest $10,000 in crypto right now, I believe I would have a much better payoff 10 years from now than if I invested $10,000 in stocks right now and waited 10 years. I think the payout for crypto in 10 years would be far greater than whatever I would get in stocks. So that's just my opinion. That's why I'm in crypto more so than stocks. I wish I had 101 billion Bitcoin. I wish I had, yeah. Don't we all? My friend has just bought 5 Lambos. Don't we all, dude? Lambos. God. Here, I'll show that. Lambos. Oh, man, chat's messing up. Lambos and has sex with MILFs all the time. Okay. Mobs. Anyway, for those of you guys who are just tuning in, welcome, guys. We're doing a little bit of technical analysis, having a little bit of fun with chat, trying to keep the happy medium, explaining our thoughts on Bitcoin and its current situation. Now, I think we move on to Litecoin. I think that was the next one. That's really not much of a rally. Jeez. So there's good news and bad news. I mean, good news is you have freaking amazing support. I think. Well, do we have amazing support? Pretty much. Well, I thought it looked better than this. Well, we're actually going to have to zoom in a little bit. I thought this is actually going to be cleaner, but it's not. It might be more of a channel. Because I wanted to chart it something like this, but I can't. So we're going to have to do something along the lines of this. I'll get back to chat in 1 second, guys. So I guess you can have this one as one sort of support, but if you want to cut out some of these wicks and maybe in like a little bit of these candles, I think this would look a whole lot better. And then use this as like a loose, use this pretty loosely. So anything kind of like in this vicinity is going to be a support. And in fact, can we actually draw a parallel channel out of this? Oh God, I messed up. Can we draw a parallel channel out of this? Yeah, we kind of can. Well, kind of. Be something more along the lines like this or something. And it'd be kind of hard. We can draw a regressional trend line at least. So let's go ahead and do that and see what we got. So you guys can kind of see it's basically the same thing as what we drew up earlier. Same thing with support and resistance. Again, this line's going to be acting as resistance. Same thing. So it's trying to get through support. It's trying to get through resistance right now, but it's having a pretty hard time. And unlike a lot of the other formations, instead of this having kind of like a falling wedge kind of resistance, this is just having flat resistance from a trend line. So here you have all your touch points being, I mean, this thing can extend even further. So again, 1, 2, 3, like almost 4, now 5. So very hard resistance. It's very clearly more so of a channel than anything else. So when looking at this, you're saying, all right, it's a hard resistance. It's trying to break it. If it does, you're probably heading up another $11. I think if it breaks this area, it could very easily go up to around 50 bucks. So that's my thoughts on Litecoin. Again, it's at a pretty crucial point. A lot of these cryptocurrencies are looking pretty similar right now, and I know that's boring and it's not fun, but a lot of these are in the same situations as they're at crucial resistance, trying so desperately to break it. And if they do, it'll have a great run for a lot of these guys. So, but it's so desperately trying to break some of these resistances. Again, if it breaks probably the $41 range, it'll probably go up to around $50. Right now, you're looking pretty bearish on your, well, it's not looking yet. Typically, this would play out as bearish, but your oscillators and your indicators are still pointing straight upwards on your one-day MACD, so you can't really call it bearish yet. And I would imagine your 4-hour looks really bearish. Not really, to be honest. I mean, yeah, I mean, this doesn't look horribly bearish to me. It honestly looks like a really healthy chart, to be honest. Looks like a really healthy chart. So Litecoin's not looking too bad. If I am looking, though, in the shorter term, now that we're on the 4-hour, I want to go ahead and emphasize this trend line support. I spotted this immediately. Looks a lot like, again, a lot of the other cryptocurrencies right now. Like numerous touches all the way through here. So best idea for an entry, if I was entering a position like this, would be on support, and that'd be somewhere probably around $33. But I don't know if it's actually going to come back down and touch the support for a while, because it's, I don't know, it's looking kind of good right now. And I think it'll follow Bitcoin. So I kind of just want to know what the cause of this was. I guess it was forming an ascending triangle, so there's that. Yeah, I mean, look at that. This is personally what I think Ethereum can do. Because here you have 1, 2, 3, 4 touches, and then just breaks through. So personally, I think that this could be like a lot like the Ethereum chart. I think that this is pretty much exactly how the Ethereum chart can play out, and should play out if it keeps going, right? I think this one is, that was the big difference, is today, Litecoin played out and Ethereum didn't. But the charts are identical. Like, these should play out the same way, just Litecoin managed to get the volume and the momentum and break out and hold it, and Ethereum couldn't. So Ethereum's still in this like red candle range, when meanwhile, Litecoin's, you know, it's had its breakout. So that's why I'm keeping a very close eye on Ethereum right now, is because if we look at this, they're very similar. Oh, that's the wrong section. There we go. Same thing, again, ascending triangle is right in here. I think it can play out, and then basically you have the same chart as Litecoin. But again, we'll have to wait and see. Ethereum's in between a rock and a hard place as we speak. I think we go down once more. Bring that 200 down. What was that? Yeah, no, so I agree. I think we at least have one more downfall. Justin asks, when moon? I don't know. To be honest, I would imagine 2019 is so basically what I said in my 2019 prediction video is that 2019 is a big year. It's a year of consolidation. It's a year of reversal, not necessarily a year of moon. I think once you start getting into 2020, between 2020 and 2023, you're really going to see some nice price action in cryptocurrency. But I think for 2019, it's going to be kind of a boring year for the most part, because a lot of people are hoping that it just moons in 2019, and in reality, I don't think that it will. But I think what 2019 is going to do is it's going to set the standard and the precedent for the next bull run. So, then get a golden cross. Do we have a golden cross? I mean, I guess we didn't we? Did we? Oh no, we were nowhere near a golden cross. Yeah, we're nowhere near a golden cross. Not yet. Going to bed now. Good night, everyone. Handy Rams, thank you so much for being in here. Appreciate you coming in here, dude. Have a great night. Don't buy a Mamba. Sam, thank you so much for being in here. Have a great night. Would you be interested in selling your YouTube? I'd pay at least $1,000. I would not. I am sorry, GF. I am interested, though. Why would you want to buy it? The answer is going to be no either way. Like, I'm not going to sell it, but I'm curious why you would want to buy it. Out of just, like, sheer curiosity. Rob G said, I think it's a good time to sell my car for more crypto. I would not recommend... I can't tell you what to do, but I would... I think your car is pretty important in your everyday life. I know it's important in mine. I think Litecoin will move down a little bit to support and then make a good move again. Yeah, I think, again, that's very possible. If we're looking at Litecoin, I think it's probably one of the most possible things on it. So, yeah. Come back down, probably look at some sort of support, maybe around the $35 range, because that's where you have over here. And then you also have Canadian body closings over in here. So maybe probably around like $35 range, maybe see some support. If not, you know, you have a lot of other support down here. So we'll see. I think it could come down and bounce, but again, I don't see any reason why this area can't get retested around $40, $42. Bull run at the end of 2019. Ooh, time will tell. Oh, I'm muted in Discord. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, we're actually going to do that in a second. We're actually going to have a segment in the section where we talk about stuff. Hey, so if you guys want to... Oh, okay. Sorry, chat. I'm super ADD. Chat is saying we need a big drop first. Yeah, we do. Gee. Now, I don't know if that's funny, but... I mean, you have me laughing, so I'll give you that. I'm going to be honest, that is not the... You guys can't see what GF responded on why he wants to buy the channel, but I can assure you that no one in chat... no one in chat would have guessed that that was the reason he wanted to buy it. The Apple ship is sinking. Let's go take a look at Apple. Let's take a look at Apple. Look at that, dude. Freaking parabolic. Oh, cryptos are a scam, man. Do you see how much they tanked in 2018? This is where I make fun of stock people now. Sorry. Bro, I'm just trolling you, dude. That'd be... I did not expect that response. Yeah, no, I mean, come on. Like, I told so many... you can't help everyone. But, like... Hold up. This is a 4. I don't like this up. Like, oh. And you want to know the worst part? Is that so many people were being told to buy up here. So many. And they weren't told to set a stop loss. Like, that's the whole, that's like, again, I've said this so many times, but that's a huge reason of why I do YouTube and I help teach and inform people, is because so many people are being misguided by idiots who just want your money or your time or your views or whatever. And they're telling you, buy up here, it's a good idea. Buy at the all-time high. Buy when it's showing signs of a reversal. Like, it did this, right? We had this originally, broke out, it's good. You know, contradicted a rising wedge, but it still fell right back out of it. And this is where the things really start getting bad. Very clear support breaking. Very clear support breaking. Parallel channel. And the thing is, I don't even think you have to chart resistance at this point. I really don't. You could. You could say it's like a broadening wedge almost. But like, I don't even think at this point you need to chart resistance. Because as soon as you see this support break, the floor is gone. Look at how parabolic this is on a one-day chart. So it's so parabolic and the floor is gone. So like, where is it going to fall to? Like, it's free falling. It's having the same problem that Bitcoin did. Anyway, that's a rant. Warren Buffett lost millions on Apple. Yeah, he did. Buyer/seller, beware if you choose not to set a stop loss. Exactly. Like, man, Apollo. Is that a cryptocurrency, Mark, or is that just like Apollo? The rocket is gone. Apollo mission gone wrong. Woo. Anyway, so I want to do something here. Let's go ahead back to Bitcoin. And for those of you guys who are in the Discord, I want to try a short segment right now where I get you guys in voice chat and we can actually talk live on the live stream and talk about the cryptocurrency sentiment. And one of the things that I want to address, if not tonight, we can probably just talk about the price of Bitcoin tonight, get things flowing, whatever. But one thing I want to address is the amount of Bitcoin that's circulating supply right now. Because while there were 21 million Bitcoin in existence, are there still? And the answer is no. There are not going to be ever 21 million Bitcoin. I mean, there will be 21 million Bitcoin in existence, but there will never be 21 million Bitcoin in circulating supply, because a lot of these Bitcoin have been lost or essentially destroyed. Like, people put them on hard and cold wallets and paper wallets, and then they lose them, or they forget about them, or they destroy them unintentionally. Sometimes intentionally. And then you have a ton of people who are just long-term holding a lot of it. So, and then you have all the exchanges that have a lot, and these million and billionaires that have a lot. So how many Bitcoin do you guys think are actually circulating in supply right now? Because it's a big thing. Because one of the big things in proof of keys is that these exchanges are saying that they own more cryptocurrency than they actually do. They're saying they own X amount, but in reality, they only own like a fifth of what they're saying that they actually own. And that's like the big deal with proof of keys right now. And if that's true, and these exchanges don't own nearly as much as they do, and a lot of them have been destroyed, like, it's possible that like we're cutting what could have been the circulating supply of Bitcoin in half. And if that's true, then the price of it goes up twice as much, because it just became 2 times more rare, because so much of it has been lost in its early days, and it's unfortunate. Or it's being held in cold wallets or destroyed wallets or something like that. So think about that for a second. It's a very hot topic right now in the deep crypto space. Where do miners go to mine Bitcoin? Like underground somewhere? What mining level do you need? You need mining level 1080 Ti. I don't know. There's specific Bitcoin miners that you can use, and you can use those if you want or if you please. I think currently Bitcoin is not profitable to mine. And another thing, guys, look at your daily real fast. Look at your daily volume. I'm going to zoom in over here. Look at your daily volume starting to fade away. It's actually starting to break though. So, oh, that's probably not the best tool. This is what I wanted to show on the daily. Ooh, starting to break. So, look at that. Look at the volume. The math suggests that the price would be affected in proportion. Exactly, Randy. It would. And I've seen reports that, again, yeah, so maybe there are 11 million or 14 million, but out of the 11 or 14 million that could be circulating, then you have to take out, all right, well, then the exchanges probably have a couple million of them. And then you have all these million and billionaires who have like tons of their net worth in Bitcoin. Then they probably have at least a couple million collectively. And then let's say maybe there's like, after all these like million billionaires and all the exchanges are done, maybe there's like 5 million of them left circulating between like the general people, right? Then like things start getting really rare, because then you get to a point where you don't even have enough for every millionaire in North America to own a Bitcoin. And that's when things start getting scary, because then you have all of Asia and Australia and Europe. And if you want all of their millionaires to own a Bitcoin, then it becomes even more rare. And then you have all the common folk. And that's when things start getting really crazy. I think the biggest problem until then, though, is the scalability of Bitcoin. Until that gets solved, you really don't have to worry about it. So yeah, so there is 17.4 million mined already. But so that means that they have been put into the market. But how many of those that have already been mined have been lost? That's the thing that we're kind of talking about. Yes, technically speaking, so yes, there is going to be 21 million in existence. There is going to be. But a lot of them are not going to be accessible because people put them on paper wallets or like ledgers and then lost them or they got destroyed. There are some, if you guys look, there are some giant Bitcoin wallets that have just been like cold for like years. And it's assumed that they're lost. They're just these giant wallets. It's a shame. It really is a shame. Bitcoin would have to be held by corporate entities. Some reports I've heard are around 5 million lost. So yeah, it's brutal. I have a pretty good understanding already that 4 million are already gone. So the barrier between like 17 and 21 is pretty much already gone. So like 4 million, from my understanding, are already confirmed to be like lost. Already confirmed. So, and it's thought that there's actually a lot more than that now. That goes hand in hand with the whole proof of keys thing right now, is that it's thought to be that there's a whole lot more lost than what we understand there to be. I would have to be in corporate, I guess. Yeah. So, hey, for those of you guys who are in the Discord, are any of you guys in the Discord, by the way? Because if you guys are in the Discord and you guys want to come join the live chat, then by all means, come on in here. I just joined here. There's a couple of us in here, I think. Me, Poker Throat, W5. If any of you guys want to come in here, we're actually going to... I want to do this where we actually can get some sort of a live chat going where we can... I don't know, not like a podcast or anything, but kind of just a little bit at the end of the live streams to be able to talk about Bitcoin between a couple of us. So that's not just me talking the whole way. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute myself in Discord. And actually, I need to turn this on to push to talk. But then we're actually going to talk about market sentiment along with technical analysis. So if you guys are on the Discord, link to Discord is in the description below. It's free to join. It's, you know, if you want to join, you can, but if you don't have to. So I'm going to go ahead and make a room for this. Because I need to make sure, or what I can do is probably just turn this to a push to talk room. So create a voice channel. We'll type it live stream. We're going to go ahead and move it down here. And get the setup. Priority speaker. Actually, not sure how to do this one. Well, I can get that set up in a little bit. Oh, wow. We had a lot of people join the Discord. Wow. Well, so welcome Slice, Akala, Big Barrel, Floyd, Randy, Ears. Welcome all you guys. So, let's go ahead and get the show on the road. I don't know how to make this, but hey guys, how's it going? So the only thing that I ask is that we just stay on push to talk. Actually, I need to put myself on push to talk. Just so that all background noise is kept to a minimal. So let me pull the stream back up, make sure everything's working. Bitcoin should be a token, should do a token burn. They actually, okay, so Bitcoin doesn't do token burns in the sense of like collectively, but every single time a transaction is done, a portion of a Bitcoin is burned, I believe. I believe so. I know I'm like 90% sure that's true. I know most coins do. I don't know why, but I'm blanking out on whether or not Bitcoin could or does. The miners get a fee, right? So that hips the cost of production. Yeah, they do. And that's why currently Bitcoin mining is like not profitable. So again, if any of you guys want to join in on the voice chat, I'm about to start it. And any of you guys are free to come in here, ask questions, talk. But I want to know your guys' thoughts here. And so again, this is the first time I've ever done this. So I probably should have gave a better warning than just saying, hey, we're doing it. But it's something that we'll incorporate gradually. But I know Poker Throat, he's in here. We've talked about this before. And I need to fix a couple things on this chart. And then we're going to also leave Bitcoin up and do this. All right, so let's go ahead and jump on into this. So with you guys that are in the voice chat right now, what are your guys' thoughts on, I guess everybody in text chat as well, but like where do you guys think Bitcoin could bottom and why? Or like what are you guys trying? Another good question for voice chat and for text chat, for those of you guys that are still on the YouTube chat, is what are you accumulating during this period and where do you feel safe accumulating? Like at what price are you like, all right, I am okay with accumulating these coins at whatever specific price? It could be like relative to Bitcoin or it could be the price of the coin respectively. So I'll just wait for, I guess, you guys in chat as well. Be looking for both of you guys. I know it's a super long question. I probably should have made it, excuse me, a little bit more basic than that. It was a pretty deep question. But for me,
it's a super long question. I probably should have made it.
Slight echo.
A little bit more basic.
Slight echo. He's probably going on push to talk. He's probably getting his mic worked out. It's all right. No worries. I'll pull the chat back up. So for me personally, and with that question being said, what are like my coins that I'm trying to accumulate at this period? And when do I feel safe accumulating these coins? So obviously, right, guys, start of it's going to be Bitcoin. Bitcoin, XRP, EOS, Cardano, Stellar Lumens. I would like to get Litecoin, Amise Go. And if I'm aiming for a little bit more risky investments, I would be leaning towards things like Tron or Encash. And those would probably be like on my more risky side of things. I don't think I'm missing any. Maybe some BNB. But I think that was most of them. Most of the ones that I either own or I want to own. Because I own a lot of those that I just said. I want to accumulate ADA during this bear market, but now I'm looking into ZIL and SingularityNet. I actually don't know SingularityNet, so I'd love to hear more about it. Hassan said it could have already bottomed, not ruling that out. Agreed with you there. I was accumulating Bitcoin since the $3,150 range. Wow, that's very close to the bottom. Here, a little bit of echo. Just gonna mute that in the short term. He'll get it worked out. I gotta figure out how to set the voice chat on to push to talk to. So that's kind of my fault. Or are you saying 30? But of course, had the stop loss a long way for now, and then just sticking to Bitcoin. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, if you bought at 31.50, like again, that's a great range because you bought so close to the bottom. I guess I've started to accumulate today. Been in and out since 7K, mostly out / fiat. Understandable. Impossible to know where the bottom is, completely agree, until the bull run actually starts, so I'm swing trading basically. Singularity Net is AI. Founder was on the Joe Rogan. No way, that's awesome. It's like one of the best podcasts, too. 2.8. Wow. That's awesome. In at 2.8, yeah, I'd be, again, I think anything around the $3,000 range and below is where I would like to start layering buys. But even at this range, I'm a little bit more hesitant to buying at this range. This is on Bitfinex too. So I'm buying off Coinbase. Let's go back to the Coinbase chart. So on Coinbase, I'm okay. I really would like to buy under $4,000. Anywhere in the $3,000 I'm okay with. It's not my preferable buy area, but I'm okay with buying in that range. If that makes any sense. I'm going to go ahead and unmute Poker and see if he's good. See if there's any... Oh, he's muted himself now. So we'll get this sorted out. Usually what we've done before is... Usually what we do is we have the live streams, and then after the live streams, we all go into the Discord, and we kind of just sit in there and do TA and talk and trade, and it's really chill. It's not like this. It's very, very informal. And that's what we've done before. But I was... You know, we're testing new things out. 2.8K. I've been in since 2.8K, 2.5 to 3K could be bottom. I don't see that going below that. Yeah. Again, a lot of support, as we talked about, a lot of support over in there in that area. So I do think that we are going to go ahead and round off the live stream here. My throat, if you guys can't tell, is very hoarse. I'm not feeling the best, but I wanted to make sure that we got a live stream out because there's so many cool things that we could have talked about tonight, and we got to talk about. So I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you guys. And I actually need to pull something up because I missed every sub tonight. Every sub and whatever happened. I don't think I had my sound on, so I couldn't have heard it. So I'm going to pull that up and say my thank yous to everyone who helped support the stream tonight. Where is this? Oh, there it is. Saw it. All right, to a photograph. Yo, thank you so much for the sub. And for... I can't pronounce that name. Husref, thank you also for the sub recently. A lot of you guys in here. Thank you guys so much for the subs. It means a lot. Great to have you guys. And also thank you so much for Justin and Hassan and Randy and Slice and Rob and everyone else. I mean, there's so many of you guys. Mark and Poker Throat and... Man, there's just a load of you guys tonight. GF and Handy Rams and Bob. And there's just so many of you guys tonight. And Akala, again, appreciate all you guys for coming into the stream tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to go rest my voice a little bit. If you guys want to, I will be in the Discord. I'll be chilling in voice chat. You guys can come in with me. I'm probably just going to be trading, to be honest. I'll probably just be trading, and I'll just be chilling. So we can just talk. It's really informal, but I'll be in the Discord. So I'm going to go ahead and round this off. Again, I appreciate you guys a ton for coming to the live stream tonight, and hopefully have some great stuff coming in the future. So until next time, guys, I will see you in the next video.